The art of war was originally intended as a set of principles designed to maximize the chances for military victory and national survival, and minimize the chances of military defeat and human loss.
Okay, you know, if you believe that, that's fine. I don't care. It's an old subject.
All right.
Are we live? Are we doing this?
We're live. And we're starting out with which book?
Winning with People. And I opened to an appropriate page, so I'm going to read this quote.
And now time for Deep Thoughts with Nicole. Oh, wait, you said never to use that word.
Yeah.
Never use that word, Nikki.
Yeah, right? I don't know. All right, so where do we want to start?
All
with
right,
this?
fuck the book. Put the book down.
Okay.
Done with the book.
We're done with the book.
Oh, look, you see how big and awesome this bed is? Because you can just put a drink down on it and you can move around and the drink won't fall over.
Yes, but I'm not going to...
That's a big bed.
Attempt to move.
So...
Okay.
Welcome to the future E.D.O podcast.
Is that what it's called? What's E.D.O?
We're going to save that till the end.
What is E.D.O?
Do you have to know right now? We're going to keep the listeners in suspense as to what E.D.O means. But yes, the future E.D.O podcast in Jim Morrison Studios.
Oh.
You know why we call this Jim Morrison Studios?
I do. But
Why? Tell us why.
Because you live next to the Jim Morrison apartment. Right?
The last one that he lived in before he died in the U.S.
Okay.
Because I think he died in Paris.
I don't know.
Right? Did you ever see The Doors?
No.
The bathtub scene?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
What did he die? What did he die of anyway? What was his deal?
I'm assuming it was a drug overdose.
Like drug overdose?
Yeah.
Yeah. He went hard. Anyway.
So anyways, he used to live next door to you before you were born.
Before I was born, Jim Morrison lived next door to me. That's why we call this the Jim Morrison Studios.
Got it. Okay, great.
So
the future.
So we are okay. So E for entertainment. And then I'll give you the rest later.
All right.
So Nikki, we were just talking earlier that you got booked a role.
Yes. I got
Can we hear about this role?
No.
Why not?
Not until I film and it's
You don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't. It's not real until I'm there shooting and it happens and I get a paycheck.
Well, then what? Who are you going to be again? What, a cop?
I'm going to be a news reporter.
News reporter.
It's very cheesy and stupid, but you have to start somewhere.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do at the end of the month. So,
good deal.
Yay me.
All right. So, by the way, what do you think of the microphone? I was boasting about this microphone earlier to you because it's so crystal clear.
I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to because this is my first time talking into a microphone, but it seems fine.
Seems fine. Wait till I do my little twinkle magic on it later, post-production wise.
Okay.
And we're going to add music and graphics, and it's going to be like a big Hollywood production.
Okay.
Just wait.
I'm excited.
Actually, down the road, I'm talking to one of my buddies over at... I'll bleep that out later. I'm talking to one of my buddies over and he is going to help me film. So you know how a lot of these podcasts, like they do, like they actually have like a camera, like 2 cameras. It doesn't have to be a guy like running around with a camera, but just set.
Yeah.
And then in post, we can just go between like, you know, when you're talking, you know, we got it on you. When I'm talking, we got it on me. You know, it just adds a little visual something.
Howard Stern does that.
Oh, right. Is it a stationary camera? It's not like some guy running around with a...
Nobody's running around, but there's different cameras facing
different things, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see what's happening in the studio when they're, you know, when the radio show's being on the air. So.
Yeah, and just for my own, you know, nerdy tendencies to just be able to have fun with like technology and like go in Final Cut Pro and like cut everything up and, you know, sync everything. And it's a process. Well... You don't realize like how much goes into it.
If you're going to implement video, you can't be doing it in your bedroom.
Oh, no. No, it's going to be in the bedroom.
There's no room in here.
Jim Morrison Studios studio bedroom. Maybe I'll call it Studio B.
Yeah. So there we go.
So to the listeners now, we are in Jim Morrison Studios, Studio B. But when we have the camera, it's going to be Studio Bedroom.
Okay.
And we're going to make you think that we deliberately changed it to a bedroom. Because the bedroom, the acoustics of the bed it really adds to the room.
Is that what it is?
You know how they put padding on the rooms? You ever go to a nice... Okay, I used to engineer at Westlake. Westlake Studios. Where Michael Jackson did Thriller? That album was made at that studio.
Well, isn't it right down the street?
It's not far from here.
Yeah.
It's down the street. And all the studios have like padding, like mattresses on the wall for like a shitty way to describe it, but it's like a foam on the wall. So this mattress actually adds amazingly to the acoustics of Studio B.
Okay. So I guess you're just forever going to be in the bedroom.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Anyway.
You can't have more than one guest on at a time then.
Yeah. Unless you want to do some orgy action here, that would be interesting. It'll be the highest quality sounding pornography ever filmed. Fucking high quality microphones.
Yeah.
So why do you have a Donald Trump book in front of you? I'm very disappointed in you.
That's your book that you bought years ago that you actually spent money on. So
it was a gift. I promise you it was a gift. No, you know what? The guy's not, I don't think the guy's so much of a shitty guy, so to speak. I think he's maybe in business, he's cutthroat, he knows how to make a business succeed. But
most of his businesses have failed, right? Because he's gone bankrupt so many times.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
I'm going just off of how he's talking about himself in that book.
Yeah, but this book,
like he's all successful.
How old is this book? This book is like 10 years old.
10 years old? Okay.
Right?
He looks the same.
So,
like he hasn't changed. Does he wear a toupee?
No, I think
is that true?
I think that's his real hair.
But notice how in the book they cut the top of his head off. So this book, what's it called?
Donald J. Trump, Think Like a Champion.
Think Like a Champion.
When was this written?
The picture of Donald Trump on this book actually has the top of his head cut off.
I don't think he has a toupee.
I think he wears a fucking toupee.
I think if he had a toupee, it would look a lot better than what it really looks like.
Oh, so you think it's like the world's worst comb over? It's a comb over.
Yeah. I don't think you'd get a toupee to look that bad. I'm trying to see when this was published, and I don't... 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
So, according to my calculations...
and go ahead and do the math real quick.
I think it's 6 years old. Am I right?
Don't ask me.
Okay.
I almost didn't graduate high school.
But are we starting in January or is it like... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, January. Let's not get crazy with this.
All right.
So, Trump University... Do you know anything about that?
I've never heard of Trump University.
Okay, I just heard about it recently. All I know is apparently there's some online university that people who want to, by people I mean not educated rednecks, want to go and take these online courses that I guess teaches them how to succeed in business.
That's better.
And I think that maybe they're being swindled for money.
Okay.
To my knowledge, it's not some sort of accredited school.
I think a school needs to be accredited to be good, right?
Yeah.
If it's not accredited.
I don't know the details, so I can't fully speak on it. You know
how they have like online universities where you can get your master's.
Yeah,
and
but a lot of those are accredited because they're recognized as real schools.
Okay.
This just kind of popped up, and it's just. I think it's mainly a series of online business courses to teach people his techniques and how to succeed in business.
Right.
But I think the people that are actually taking these courses are low income and of low education.
To somebody from China.
Like the people that are
going to his rallies.
For his rallies.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if it was you, but because you tend to post a lot of stuff on Facebook as far as like, what's happening in the world and like shit that matters to you, shit that you and I have a lot of similar interests here.
Yes.
And you posted, maybe it was you, something about Trump, his rallies and how progressively over time, since the beginning of his, announcement into the president, whatever the fuck they call that, I'm going to be president, whatever that was.
Yeah.
How he started to sort of nudge the crowd. Get that guy out of here, or
I didn't post that.
Kind of, how like, it's like a thing now at a Trump rally. people are getting thrown out. There's violence, right? That's what he's okay. So apparently, like this news story, this news lady on CNBC or whatever the fuck it was, posted chronologically from the very beginning to the end. It was like a 10-minute thing, and how it got worse and worse and worse up until today, to where it's just like it's Jerry Springer basically. And if you ask me, it seems all too obvious that this guy's either fucking smoke and mirrors, or a diversion, right?
Oh yeah, I did say I felt like it was so ridiculous that it seems to be some sort of diversion, but diversion from what, I can't exactly say, but it just seems so absurd that it can't be real. It's like,
it seems fake almost, doesn't it? It almost doesn't seem fucking real.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing that blows me away, as if he's making a spectacle, he's making a big show. And it's funny how he eggs the crowd on. It's literally out of a shitty episode of Jerry Springer when we were kids. By the way, is Jerry Springer even still on? Is that thing?
I don't know.
It can't still be on.
I think it might be, but I don't watch TV. Everything's on Netflix, so I don't know.
I think that's you and most people nowadays. Like, who the fuck wants to watch TV when you can just watch shit on demand? You know?
Yeah.
And TV, the cost of cable is like stupid ridiculous.
I mean,
now.
like my parents still have TV. But,
yeah,
I mean, like the older generation.
They're the older generation. They don't matter.
So I don't know, but it is a little absurd. But I'm not very political, so I can't really.
I'm not political either, but when the fucking every 4 8 years, whatever, we do this president bullshit, you can't help to kind of like cheer for one of the teams. It's like a big sports function, and that's funny how, because I think that's how the media, we like to portray it. It's like this big sports thing, and like, oh, I'm with the red team, I'm with the blue team. It's like, and that's how the mentality, and everyone's all hurrah, hurrah, and then when they get elected, it's like, oh, okay, fuck this guy. Like every single time, it's like. It's just a big like, let's get everyone on board and make them think they're participating, when in reality, as you and I have spoke about.
This is a good segue into the whole.
Well, I mean, we talked about this before, and you were the one that brought it up, right?
That I think that the presidents are just puppets and they have no real power and they're just figureheads. I mean, I don't think it's really any surprise or secret that corporations actually run this country. And they pull the president's strings. And the president who gets into office can start out with the best of all intentions, but they never actually really get anything accomplished that they personally want. It's whatever is in the corporation's best interest. So, and I also think that they manipulate it so that who they want to become president does become president. So I think the illusion I think that
it's already determined.
Predetermined.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that.
Keep talking.
That I'm just thinking about my thoughts.
Okay.
I just kind of think that your vote doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, they're going to put in the office who they want in the office.
We give state dinners to the heads of China.
There's too much power and money I think, in the whole game.
They want to know that there's going to be a president in office that they can manipulate and bully and pull their strings, because who are the two presidents that tried to make real change in this country? Abraham Lincoln and JFK, both of which were assassinated.
Right.
They were actually for the people.
Right.
Legitimately for the people. JFK wanted to abolish the Federal Reserve. He wanted to expose it. He wanted to give the money back to the people and get it out of these privately owned banks. And then he was assassinated. Abraham Lincoln was all about the people and wanted to abolish slavery, and he was assassinated. Mm-hmm. So it's just whoever's in office is, like I said, they're just a puppet. Yeah. And so whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever, I don't think it matters. I think it's been predetermined already, and people are given the illusion that their vote counts. And in reality, I don't think that it is. This is where I think Hillary most likely will become our next president.
Was the worst. Hillary Clinton's going to be a horrible president. I think Hillary would be a terrible president.
And again, I'm very non-political. I think the game is fixed. So because the game is fixed, I don't participate. I don't want to play a fixed game.
Right.
But the little involvement that I do get in it is that when I do see, I think I try to look at the human being. And I know you can't really know who these people are because you don't know them personally, unless you're related or you're a friend of Hillary or whoever. You know, the point is you can't really know who they are based further than how they portray themselves on the media. Trump just seems like a fucking asshole, basically. Power hungry. Most likely not being serious about the thing, that he's literally probably just getting paid to do a big publicity stunt where he wins. It's a win-win because he wins because he gets the publicity.
I will build a great wall.
And he probably getting paid. I wouldn't doubt he's getting paid. Or maybe the payment is in the publicity alone, which is priceless because now everyone's talking about Trump.
Well, I don't think he's getting paid because I think he's funding his own. Because normally they have to get endorsements and donations to fund the campaign trail, and I think he's funding it all himself.
Well, then perhaps that funding is the price he's paying for the publicity when you really think about it.
Well, it's his way of not being controlled, because what happens is when they're on the campaign trail, they get endorsed by all these corporations.
You're basically someone's bitch and you got to push this or that agenda.
Right, and then if you get into office, they're going to come back to you later and say, remember when I gave you like millions of dollars on your campaign trail?
Right.
They're like, yeah, you need to pass this bill or not pass this bill.
Right.
That's how they get bought and sold.
Okay.
And so I think why he's such a wild card is because I think he's funding his own campaign, so nobody has any leverage over him.
So he does whatever the fuck he wants.
Right, and it shows. I mean, doesn't care. That's why his rallies are so absurd. And all I know about Hillary, I mean, I think it would be great to have a woman president, but I don't think she should be the one. And I think that what I know is she's all about Monsanto. She's pro Monsanto. She keeps pushing that agenda.
Oh, shit. That's all you have to say. I will not support that. Fuck no.
No. She's super about it. And I
Why? What's her fucking deal?
Because
they're paying her money? What are they doing?
Monsanto is giving her money, funding for her
motherfucker.
campaign.
I did not know that.
And so I just posted a video on Facebook the other day. She said, oh, well, just change the terminology, you know.
That's a good impression of her, by the way.
She said...
Sounds just like her.
Shut up. She said, genetically modified organism sounds really scary. It sounds like Frankenstein food. She's like, but if we just change the terminology and call it drought-resistant food...
Oh, Jesus.
Then that changes it, and maybe people will become... more tolerant of it and more open-minded about it. And it's just like, she was basically saying for the whole world to hear, oh, just change the name so people accept it more.
Yeah, see, and the thing is that what she's covering up is basically the idea that when you introduce these GMO foods into the food supply, you are now the guinea pig. You know, it very well may be that some of these GMO foods down the road are more beneficial. Like the net benefit is better than any negatives that come along with that specific whatever. But the thing you can't forget is that when you introduce it, you are now a guinea pig to find out if you maybe your specific, makeup can tolerate that food. Because some people are going to fucking get sick and die from that food.
Well, and
some people aren't.
But that's the whole point is, it's Roundup ready. Roundup, the chemical, the weed killer, is in the nucleus of the cell. So the plants, the crops will not grow unless Roundup is sprayed on them.
Right, which is this fucked up pesticide for us.
Right, so I don't see how you could say that maybe down the road there will be benefits because you're consuming all those chemicals. As
it stands right now, you're absolutely right. I think that I'm thinking more in terms of like a positive theoretical future, like, maybe there's a way to do GMO that's like, you can grow like a more nutritious tomato. I know that's probably never going to happen, but I'm saying that's like a theoretical benefit of GMO food is you can grow like a tomato that weighs 100 pounds or something. You get what I'm saying? So instead they're growing these foods that are completely nutritional devoid and they're loaded with Roundup among other chemicals, which is fucking people up.
Right. Because our body doesn't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
Because it's not natural.
All right, let's stop right here for a second.
What were we talking about?
All right. We were talking about GMO.
Okay, so Donald Trump, they can't control him. He's a wild card.
Okay, so here's what I would say. There's my point is I feel like
GMOs.
when you look at people, right? You look at these people You don't know who they are. You just know what they're talking about and what they supposedly stand for, right? And then you vote for them based on what you know about them, right? Well, if you just go off of their image or their vibe, Trump's the asshole.
Nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively.
Right? Bernie's the revolutionary and Hillary's the status quo. So when I see Hillary, she seems so polished and fake. Now, I'm not saying that if she gets into office that she's going to fuck things up. I don't think that's the case. I think it'll just be very status quo.
Every human being microchipped. Every person in this country will have a microchip in their body, and they will be eating nothing but genetically modified foods. They've already abolished the, what's it called? The FDA got rid of the grass-fed beef label, and it's not allowed to be labeled as such anymore. Yeah. I mean, we're already going down a very bad road.
So she's a fucking bitch. You don't like her. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know her personally. I just know that she thinks fracking is okay. Fracking releases methane gas into the water supply. I mean, there's been incidences where people can literally light their water on fire because of the methane gas.
Yeah, I don't know
fracking.
I don't know a lot about her, base of it, but the vibe.
Those are the only two things I know about her. I know that she's pro fracking and she's pro GMO. Two things that are very bad for her.
That's enough for me to give her the finger and say, no, I'm not voting for her. That's enough for me. But
we don't vote anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, I'm not going to vote. Not going to vote.
I've never voted and I don't plan on starting
but
now.
It's fun to talk about. The thing is, you know, you look at the character of the person and, you know, call it gut instinct, call it whatever, but the vibe, not even what she's talking about, not the content, but just the vibe. And the vibe I get from Hillary is status quo, not going to change anything. Like, I'm not going to change anything for the better, at least. In other words, I get the impression, I get the vibe that she's in it for, I guess, the big business. You know, that's what it comes down to. She's not going to change anything because that's the way our country's been run, and that's the way it's going to continue to run with her in office. Now, Bernie, the vibe I get from him, and I would vote for him if I voted, just because I like his accent.
Yeah. But he's really for the people, and he
really is. He's
against GMOs. He's against fracking, and I don't know. He seems really great, but you know, if by some,
I'm about the blue collar and the blue collar and the white collar, and you know, anyway, that's my impression of Bernie.
Some weird twist of fate, he wound up in office. He would be assassinated within his first year.
That's it. He's done. You're dead.
He would die of old age, quote
something,
unquote.
right?
I mean, yes,
they'll put cyanide in it. You know what's funny is
they will poison him and call it old age because he is old, but he will be assassinated within a year.
So, you know what's funny is, you know, it's so funny, but presidents have always been shot, right? That's the method of death. Mm-hmm. Right. Why hasn't anyone spoken to the chef of the White House? You know, put some of this cyanide in the oatmeal. You know, how hard is that? Is that harder? I think that would be easier to do.
Well, all of those people are heavily vetted before they can even step foot in the White House, let alone.
There's got to be like one, you know, Arab dude that has been bred.
Wow.
Has been bred from like age 2 to become a chef, go to Le Cordon Bleu. Okay. But they know how to fucking handle, you know, some cyanide. You know what I mean? They know how to make a good cyanide souffle. What? You would think that by now that would be
he would go to jail.
No, but that's his whole purpose. That's his thing. I go to jail or I die for it or whatever.
I don't know. I think maybe it might just be easier and less complicated to shoot.
To just learn how to shoot guns?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I think the best possible thing for this country would be Bernie Sanders, but I just don't think he'll get in office. And like I said, if he does, he'll be murdered. He's
too progressive and he's too genuine. And, you know, again.
Well, and he actually wants to implement some real change. And he calls out like big pharma for what it is and keeping people sick and just that whole thing. And so that's why he'll never make it.
But you know, the big question that you have to ask in this day and age is when you hear these people talking about their policies and what they want to do, how they want to change everything, you got to ask yourself, like, are they really genuine? Are they just going for the vote? Or is this what they really fucking stand for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it's 50-50. I think some of them are, but then when they get in office, they all of a sudden, the veil has been lifted and they see behind the curtain and they realize, oh, I have no power.
Not much I can do.
And I can't do shit. And I think other ones just, don't, they're just liars.
Yeah. Well, one thing that fucked me up was Bill Cosby. You know why? Because I fucking loved Bill Cosby. And I used to always think of Bill Cosby as like, he's the Jell-O guy, man. He's Cliff Huxtable. He wears sweaters and he's great to his kids.
Most child molesters wear sweaters.
And and he's a great role model, The Cosby Show was a great role model.
I never
once,
you know
what I'm saying?
Watched The Cosby Show.
Oh my God.
Never once.
All right, that's it. We're shutting the show off. That's it.
I never saw it. I don't know.
It was great. I mean, for the time, it was a great fucking show. It was hilarious. It was just, it had everything, And the other thing is it was one of the few shows that I can think of where it portrayed a black family in a wealthy sort of an upper echelon society portrayal. You know what I mean? Like in a very positive light. The kids weren't fuck ups. I think one of the girls was kind of edgy, but what's her name?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
You don't know the whole
show.
All right, whatever. This hot girl that was Lenny Kravitz's daughter. You know Lenny Kravitz?
That's not his daughter. You mean Lenny Kravitz's daughter is younger than us, dumbass.
Oh, wait.
You mean Lisa Bonet?
Oh, no. Yeah, Lisa Bonet. Lenny Kravitz's
baby
wife.
mama. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Because the daughter looks a lot like Lisa Bonet.
Yes, but the daughter is younger than us.
Okay.
Therefore, was not in the Cosby
You're
Show.
right. How old is this daughter? So, anyway, but it was a good portrayal. Minus Lisa Bonet, who was kind of like the rebellious child.
Okay.
But Cosby being this great father, and he always had this sort of image, even in his comedy.
Yeah, but it's called acting, dude.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's acting. So if you can have this guy where there was absolutely zero indication that this dude's a child molester, besides the fact that he wore sweaters.
Well, no, I don't think did he molest children?
Actually, no, I'm sorry. He essentially he raped women.
Yeah, I think
that's
he
what he did.
Them,
he
yes?
drugged women.
Okay.
But I think I'm thinking molesting because a lot of them were young. I don't know if they were underage.
Yeah, I know he took advantage of dozens and dozens, and I think he gave them like date rape drugs, but I don't know if any of them were under 18.
You know what? Sure. If they were, he would really be in deep shit, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That's probably why he's kind of off the hook, so to speak. Right? They fucking crucified him.
Well, and I
publicly.
think because a lot of them didn't say anything at the time, and it's like, 20 years later, and now they're coming forward.
Yeah, and that's always kind of, anyway.
Yeah.
But no, that's the kind of shit that throws me off. It's like, who do you trust? Here's this guy, great image, loves kids, wears sweaters. Right? And however many years later, it's like now you're this fucking evil monster. You're like, where the fuck did that come from? And that's what I'm saying. Like you got the, any public image, a president, a politician, an actor, they can put on this squeaky clean image. You think you know who they are, but you don't, you don't. So when we elected Bill, did we know he'd be an adult? Well, actually, I think we did because we liked him. He was such a cool, like kind of edgy saxophone playing player. That's what we liked about him. So when he got his dick sucked in the White House, we weren't.
Well, and do you think that was the only time,
time he got caught,
the only intern? It wasn't just Monica Lewinsky. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
let's be honest. And Hillary knew about it, and Hillary stayed with him, and she did that just to save face. So what does that say about her?
Yeah,
Hillary Clinton's going to be a horrible president.
Yeah. What does that say? Yeah, what does that say?
Yeah, she's
they're in it for the politics, man. They're in it for what's in it for me.
I think theirs is a marriage of convenience only.
Yeah, it's a public marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There it is. But one thing I thought about Hillary is that if there's anyone that has experience in being a president, it would be her because she kind of had an 8-year internship with her husband when you think about it.
Oh, I think she knows a lot about politics. And I think that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there's aspects of the job she's well equipped to handle. And I think she's probably very smart, but I think it boils down to, do you trust her?
She's one of them, quote unquote. That's what she reminds me of. She's just one of them.
She doesn't resonate trust with people. People don't trust her. So
so that's not just you and I. This is the public opinion.
There's a lot of people that don't don't want her. And I don't think it has anything to do with her being a female. I just don't. She just comes off.
There's something, like I said, a vibe. There's something
not
about
trustworthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that whole scandal was that she like deleted 30,000 emails before like some sort of investigation, and they won't release, like she won't say why or what was in them, but she deleted all these emails. So
she just you know what? She seems too polished, and everything that she
because she's a reptilian shapeshifter.
Oh, we're not even going there, man. We're not going there.
That's another show.
That's another show. Yes, she did say reptilian shapeshifters. Yes or no? Do you believe in reptilian shapeshifters?
Yes.
Okay, so that's another show. What did I just say? She's too polished, too rehearsed, and you know what? That to me gives an element of fakeness. She's got kind of this fake smile, this fake persona, where it's just like she's rehearsing. Man, there's who's the real Hillary? We don't fucking know, you know. But anyway, enough of that shit.
All right, let's not talk about this anymore.
So what's this movie you wanted to see tonight?
10 Cloverfield Lane. It's a scary movie.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there a film called Cloverfield?
Cloverfield, I believe, is what it was called, and I never saw that one.
And this is 10 Cloverfield?
Fcloverfield Lane.
Not Feld?
Yes. I never saw that other one.
It was like a Godzilla kind of movie, but done in a really fucking cool way. Like, it was done in a way as if there were really a big-ass fucking monster like Godzilla in the city in New York, how would it go down? And it was filmed in such a way that you were with... It's like one of the guys that you were running around with trying to get the fuck away had a camera on him, and it was kind of like that. But the vibe, it was very like, it had that kind of, you know, that realism mixed with the fantasy of the monster, but how the fuck would it go down? And that was, I think it was an interesting take on the genre.
I don't know.
Tell us about 10 Cloverfield.
I don't know. I don't know.
You just know you want to see it because it's scary.
It's scary.
Why do you like scary movies?
I don't know. They're fun. They're exciting. They're exhilarating. I don't know.
You don't think they're polluting to the mind?
No.
Seeing all those evil images.
You know what's polluting to the to the mind?
The Kardashians.
Yeah. Reality TV.
Yeah.
That's what's polluting to the mind.
Yeah.
And the news. That is what's polluting to the mind.
Fucking A, right? The news is.
You know, because
they've been bought and sold a long time ago.
This is why the news is dangerous. It's because a lot of shit, they're giving you misinformation and passing it off as truth.
Right.
Whereas movies, you know they're false. You know they're fake. You know they're make-believe. You know they're not real. Where the news is very dangerous because they're feeding you all this shit and they want you to think it's true and they want you to think it's real.
And for the most part, you know, would you argue that most of the country follows the news quite closely and believes most of what they say?
I would agree that's true.
And that's the scary part. Because when you think about it, they are the filter of information. I guess you could say from an old bygone era, because now at least we have the internets where we can research our own information. It takes a little more work, but I think that our generation, especially like the younger, what do they call them, millennials?
Yeah.
I think that we are the ones that are kind of saying we don't trust the media. I think that our parents are still in the whole, like, we watch the news and reread the paper kind of camp.
Yes.
But I think that we and below us are in we kind of don't trust because we see what the older generation pretty much did to this fucking planet, raped it, just fucking gang raped the shit and destroyed this planet and is destroying this planet. And we are kind of a little bit more on like the anti-establishment, I think, our generation. Because I know a lot of people like you, like myself. I mean, a lot of people we run with are like this.
Yeah.
Granted, we live in hippie central, fucking LA.
Yeah.
You know, you live in Los Feliz. I live in West Hollywood. And by the way, did I say Los Feliz right?
That's a whole nother show in and of itself.
Is it?
The argument of Los Feliz.
I can't handle when people say Feliz. I want to fucking just shoot them in the head. I
know.
Feliz. Oh,
right.
Anyway,
let's not talk about it. It pisses me off.
Actually, if you're gonna be correct about Los Feliz,
it would be Los Angeles.
Right.
Yes.
Orale. Orale, Los Angeles. Let's go get some burrito. Okay. Yeah. So, what were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Oh, the scary movies.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just like them. it's fun. I like to feel like kind of on edge and excited, and because they keep you paying attention.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Who's in this movie?
I have no idea.
Jesus. You don't know who's in it. You just know it's a scary movie, and it's called 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I saw one. I watched the trailer online once, and I remember thinking, "Oh, that looks pretty decent. I think I want to see it."
Okay.
And I've been in the mood to see a scary movie because I haven't seen one in a while, and so yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe when we finish this podcast up, we can catch a late night showing of this. Because from what I understand, you don't got shit to do.
No, as an unemployed 35-year-old, I don't have anything to do right now.
Well, you're what you are is an actor in Hollywood.
The true definition of struggling actor.
Yeah, right. But I saw your reel and it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're definitely like the cop, the lawyer, the in your face, but when I saw that post where you were you're wearing military gear, that should look real, man. You look like a badass.
Oh yeah, because well, that was just for me being an extra.
An extra, right.
No, one where I was a Marine on NCIS, and then this one I was a naval officer on the last ship. But I was just an extra. I didn't have any lines.
Okay.
But yeah, the uniforms are real. The uniforms are legit. Like,
yeah. Did they give you a gun and all that shit? Was that a real gun?
it wasn't a real gun. It's a prop gun.
It could be a real gun. They take all this shit out and,
Prop gun.
Okay, fine.
It's all rubber.
It's a rubber gun?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought, they use actual real guns and they just took out the internals so it can't shoot.
I mean, maybe on certain sets.
Okay.
But not...
a rubber gun.
Not on network television.
Is a rubber gun heavy or is it light?
Not heavy.
Okay.
Kind of heavy. I don't know.
All right.
I've never held a real gun, so I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah, my roommate Colin got me thinking about going to the range.
I want to do that. I've been dying to do that for years. I want to learn how to shoot. I think it's important for when the zombie apocalypse happens.
I was just going to say, see, you knew where I was heading with that. So when the zombie apocalypse happens, at least we'll have some form of protection, at least for a while.
Yeah, we need to learn how to shoot and
or if Donald Trump becomes president.
We give state dinners to the heads of China.
What's this thing about Canada? Is this for real? Can we go to Canada?
I don't
know if I want to live there. I mean, I know it's like
cold.
People talk like how highly about it in Vancouver and all these great cities.
I mean, it's supposed to be really beautiful.
But I have like zero desire.
Yeah, I don't care if I ever go there in my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's not like...
It doesn't seem culturally rich to me, that place. It's just kind of like another America, just kind of like a...
Just with French people. More French people.
More French people, and they like hockey. That's, I know everyone shits on Canada. I have nothing bad to say. It's just the weather... Like, why do you want to go up? Why go closer to the North Pole when you don't have to?
Yeah, it just seems like...
I
don't know. Unless you like cold weather.
If Spain were like, hey, we'll take you guys, I'm there in a heartbeat. I love Mediterranean countries. Yeah. Italy, Spain, all those places are awesome. But Canada?
Yeah, I don't know. People are just being dumb fucks saying that. If Trump becomes president, I'm going to Canada. Like, shut up. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like,
and it's funny.
You can't even leave your hometown. You can't even leave the city like where you went to high school. Yeah. So shut the fuck up saying you're going to go move to Canada.
All right. So you're from Pittsburgh.
I have lived in 5 different states. I've lived in Pennsylvania and I've lived in Maryland and I've lived in Nevada and New York and California.
And what's your favorite?
California.
I knew that. I was just saying so that people could hear what your favorite is.
Yes.
So Nikki and I go back a ways. We met back in the Gladstones days where I was bartending and she was serving.
I think it was like 2012.
Yeah. And we became good friends. And since then, I traveled a lot. She traveled a lot. We crossed paths in New York City, became roommates there. And now we're both back in LA.
He's following me back and forth across the country.
And I know Nikki loves LA. This is your favorite place. You love LA.
I do love LA. I mean, it has its flaws and there are things wrong with it, but of all the places I've lived, this is where I personally feel the best.
To somebody from China.
And it's hard to say what that is, isn't it? Is it kind of a ethereal kind of
Well, for me,
artsy fartsy, you know.
For me, I think it's. I mean, number one, which is the same answer that every person gives, is the weather.
The weather.
That's number one.
Well, you being from the East Coast.
Yeah, born and raised
you appreciate
in
that
Pittsburgh.
more.
Yeah. The weather can't be beat. It's the best weather in this country.
Right.
It's amazing. So, I mean, and that's going to be everyone's answer that they give you is the thing they like the most.
Right.
The other thing for me is people are more progressive here and more open-minded. And they seem to care more about environmental issues and social issues and about, just the planet and wanting to make things better. And they're overall more healthy. They want to eat organic, natural foods. And
what do you think about San Francisco, though?
I've never been.
Never been. Okay.
No.
From what I've only been a few times. One of my best friends lives in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And whenever I've gone up there to visit him, I love that city. Every time I go back. But
I'd love to check it out.
I haven't been back since I've lived in New York. So having the eyes of a New Yorker, bloodshot, stained eyes after living in New York, I have not seen San Francisco yet. So I want to see it again, which, by the way, I'm going next month. I'm going to visit my buddy. Spend a few days up there during the week, check out the city, do my thing, come back and be like, what's up with this place? Because how you're describing LA, supposedly, that's San Francisco, like, even more so. Like, the progressiveness, you know how all that...
Well, and the other thing, though, is, I mean, I want to be here for acting, so I need to be here.
You're fired.
All I know from the times that I went, what I liked about it is it has, like, this fucking crazy uniform architecture. Like the mansion, the scary mansion in Disneyland? The Haunted Mansion.
I've never been to Disney.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, one of the coolest rides in Disneyland is the Haunted Mansion. And it's like this old Victorian, the haunted house with like that weird picket fence on the roof. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like that kind of stereotypical Halloween-ish.
Yeah.
That's what every fucking building in San Francisco looks like. And it's just very uniform, but it's beautiful. Like it has an old feel. And, every house or building has like bay windows,
Yeah.
And it's that uniformity that reminds me of Europe. How Europe has that kind of uniformity in the old cities. San Francisco has that vibe, which I have no idea how old this fucking city is. It's on the west. Maybe it's one of the older Western cities because of the gold rush.
Right.
I don't know. But why it's so completely different in layout, architecture. It's very East Coast in that regard. Why, as a West Coast city like LA and San Diego, never became that way, I have no idea. So it didn't evolve from the car. Like there's no automobile. It's not like a driving city. They have a decent subway transportation system. It's very dense. It's supposed to be. I read this the other day. They're number 2 walkability. New York number 1. San Francisco number 2.
Oh.
So you do not need a car in that city. In LA, do you need a car?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. You can't live without a car out here.
I mean, I know a few people that do, and I just think it's weird.
I mean, I guess you could Uber it every fucking where you go, but...
I feel like that gets expensive because if you live on the east side and you want to go over to the west side and then back, that could be a $50 Uber.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what pisses me off is that they're doing these rate surges constantly now. It's like 2 point da-da-da or fucking... I think I've seen even as high as like 3 or 2.9. And like, dude... No taxi service would ever if you're in New York and a yellow cab pulled up, he's like, by the way, I'm going to charge you 3 times the normal rate. Fuck off, bro. But Uber, we don't even question it.
Well, they do if it's late at night and you want to go to an outer borough.
Well,
they'll fuck you that way. If you're in like Midtown and you need to go out to wherever in Queens, like out to Jamaica or something.
But let's be honest, like Uber, like the fact that this shit's happening consistent is like it's starting to get shady. In my opinion, it's getting shady. The company's getting greedy. Because they're like, oh, we need to put more fleet out on the, this is how we how do I say this for? Incentivize?
I don't
You know what I'm talking about, right? What am I trying to say?
Incentivize.
It's like, okay. Yeah. You're giving them incentive to get on the road and you spike the rate so that you get more guys on the road.
Maybe because the drivers were losing money because of Uber Pool and Lyft Line, which are the shared rides.
And you know what? Then get rid of it. Fuck it. What a great concept, though. I mean, it really is. It's a great idea. And And it's a sharing of resources. It's like, why do we all need fucking cars? Like, you need a car, I need... No, like, if you and I happen to one day be going the same direction, it makes sense that you get to share. And then who owns the car? You know, they're talking about this thing now. I have no idea who the fuck it is, what company or what idea, but they're talking about the idea of no one owning car. We all own the car, you know? And it's like you use it when you need it. I guess it's kind of what's that? The little smart cars. What's that service called? You can like it was big when I was living in Miami. You could drive the fucking little smart car and you leave it wherever.
Oh, I know. Oh fuck, what is that called? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you leave that shit.
You have to be a member.
Right.
You have to like pay an annual fee to have access to that.
Right. And then you pay it as you go. Like, you know.
Yeah, what the hell is that called? That's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah, it's going to drive me crazy. I might have to look it up here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that where why do we all have to have a million? Like there's a million cars on the road, right? It's like there's one car per every fucking person in this city. It's like crazy, right? So unnecessary when you can just have like, you know, one car, say, for 10 people, you know.
Well, no, it is necessary because the city's too spread out and we're all back and forth all day long.
If you created a logistical system, kind of like...
You can't remap out the city. It's already done.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about much like how Uber is doing with Uber Pool and how when you put in your request, all of a sudden, you know, it logistically says we're going here, here, here. Boom, we're going to pick up these people. That makes a lot of sense. You could do that also with the car. You know what I mean? Like... anyway.
I don't know. For example...
We all don't need a fucking car. That's all I'm just saying.
I don't know. Because on Monday, I have a prime example of my day. I live in Los Feliz. I had to do something in Studio...
Los Feliz.
I had to do something in Studio City. So I went from Los Feliz to Studio City.
Okay.
Then I went back...
You're going to have to tell me how you got there. Because
I don't remember.
This is a very California thing to do.
Whatever.
It took the 101.
I don't know. I don't remember. Whatever my GPS told me that day. Because it always tells me something different.
You're not a true Californian until you're very proud of the route you took.
I don't give a shit. So I went from Los Feliz to Studio City. Back to Los Feliz. And then I got a last minute audition in Beverly Hills. So then from Los Feliz to Beverly Hills. Then back to Los Feliz to change. And then to Burbank to work at some restaurant job.
Jesus, that's like a whole day right here.
That's what I'm saying. So Los Feliz to Studio City, back, Beverly Hills, then back, and then Burbank, and then back home. All over the damn, they're all spread out.
Yeah.
So, you know, and a lot of people who are in my shoes that are working actors or struggling actors or whatever the hell you want to call it, like, your day is like that.
Yeah.
You're going all over the damn place.
It's too bad that LA, I think this is my biggest complaint about LA. It's just too fucking spread out. And I like the East Coast style of cities like New York because of the walkability, the density. I like the idea that you can just get shit out of a subway station, right? And you walk up the stairs and there you are. From there, you can walk to 100 bars. You can walk to 100 restaurants.
But that, what you say you like, yes, the convenience is great. And I agree with you. But then that denseness of everything also brings denseness of population, denseness of people.
Yeah.
You know, you're all on top of each other.
Right.
So, and that's what I hate about New York.
Ah.
So, yes, everything being easy and accessible to get to is great, but that denseness of space and buildings and whatever brings the denseness of population.
It's interesting how one person's trash is another person's treasure, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And literally, when you are in New York, you are walking upon piles of trash, which actually did not bother me. And
I hated it, especially at night because there was rats coming out of the piles of trash.
Those shits will skip. I've seen
they're
rats.
They're not afraid. They'll jump on you.
I've seen rats the size of small cats.
Yeah.
And you know they're rats because of that fucking tail. And don't give me that possum shit because I know what a possum looks like. Rat.
Whoever said they were possums?
Oh, I've heard people, that's a pot. No, bro.
Oh.
That's a rat. Big ass motherfuckers. And you remember when we were living in Harlem? Mm-hmm. There was a little alley where the trash was.
Wait, at Janine's place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time we walked by that shit, the rats would kind of scurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would scare the shit out of me. Every time. I'd be like, okay, there's rats here. Relax.
Me too.
Relax. Me too. And then boom, and then scurry, and I'm fucking, you know, and you know, when I was a little kid, we had a little pet rat. Rats don't bug me, but New York rats do.
They're big as shit.
They're big and they're fucking scary, and I think they all have rabies.
And they're not afraid of people either. Like, they'll get really close to you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they'd be like, give me some cheese, bitch. Or more like halal food, because that's all they serve nowadays.
Yeah, it's definitely halal.
Now, you know how I have an ambition to open a food truck?
Yes.
Okay. And it would be like a healthy food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the funny things about New York is that every fucking food truck in that city, at least in Manhattan, is halal food.
Not everyone. Well, those are carts. Those aren't trucks. Those are little carts that they pull up on the back of an SUV and then they drop the cart off and then they come get it later. Those aren't food trucks.
Okay, well, I see a lack of, maybe it's the parking, because I get it, it's Manhattan. Maybe it's a little different in Brooklyn. But, you know, where the fuck are the hipster trucks? You know, Korean tacos, you know, that kind of shit. I didn't see any of that in New York.
No, but it's all here in LA. LA has one of the best food truck scenes. They have all different kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So it is kind of a West Coast thing.
But I think the food truck whole movement kind of started out here and then worked its way east.
It started with the taco guys, the taco trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I read about the history of it, trying to get into it, the
and
research.
Now there's trucks for everything. I mean, there's like cupcake trucks, the lobster truck, pizza trucks, taco, you know.
Where are these guys hanging out these days anyway? Because since I've moved back here, I haven't seen any of the gourmet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I haven't
seen them.
I guess you're gonna have to follow them on Twitter. Find her.
See, that's the shit. You know, but I'm down for the rallies. You know, when they do the food truck things and they
I've heard of them.
You know,
but I've never
all
been.
of them get together and they do this. They get a parking lot. That's the shit I like. That's cool because then you can sample.
Yeah, I'd like to go to one of those. Yeah.
But follow on Twitter. You know, I have to say my favorite guy. He's a taco guy. He's old school Mexican dude. Leo's Tacos or Tacos Leo or whatnot. And he's on the corner of Venice Boulevard and La Brea every fucking night until like 3 a.m. And I started going to this guy like 7 years ago when he had a little cart. Basically, It was a cart. Now he's got one of these fucking like you ever been on a party bus?
Yeah.
A stripper pole? Like that's what he's got for a fucking food truck. Like it's got the lights and this cool, you know, graphic wrap, you know, him like this caricature of him and his mustache and shit, you know, like a vato. And I remember going to him and there was like 2 or 3 other people in line waiting for this guy. And I was like, I have the best kept secret in LA because I would get off of work like late as fuck. I would drive. That was the way I used to go home to Hollywood. And I used to get my tacos and just be the happiest motherfucker because he had the best tacos pastor in the city. And tacos pastor is the one where it's on the spit. You know, it's like that, the big hunk of meat on a stick and the flame and the fire and all that shit. And they carve it off. And Mexicans do that in the form of al pastor, which is like the seasoned pork, like pineapple and shit. So he had that. And it's like the best thing I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Leave LA, come back 3-4 years later. This fucking guy's got the retrofitted truck, you know, the crazy, you know, wrap, and a line like that. Literally, the whole parking lot is just people, and now they have tables. Like, it's amazing to see that, you know, my best kept secret actually blew up, and now like the guy, you know, persistence.
Well,
I don't know.
him. Good for him.
Yeah.
What I think is a little disturbing is these unregulated grocery carts that people have made into like taco or hot dog carts, and they have like propane underneath and like these like metal like
it's those those like what the fuck, they're like banquet trays.
They're
you
like
know,
banquet trays, and they have like their own like propane tank or something underneath, and they're just heating tacos on this grocery cart that they kind of like refitted.
Bacon wrapped hot dogs,
and there's no regulation on these, and I just think it's disgusting.
Okay, you're right. But I have to tell you, like some of these, and they're always ladies. They're always like middle-aged Mexican women. I don't know what it is. I never seen a dude.
They live here illegally, and it's the only thing they can do for work.
Okay, well, you know, and that is also one of my what's the word called when it's like a not good, but an indulgence. You know, it's not a good indulgence, but it's like a, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a guilty pleasure. That's what I'm saying. It's one of my guilty pleasure, and I think it's so good. Have you ever had?
No, I won't eat meat off of a grocery cart.
I probably have at least 3 tapeworms from this shit, but it was worth each one of them because it is the best hot dog you've ever had in your life.
And these trays that they're on, these like banquet hotel trays,
I know.
And they're like open flame underneath. Isn't that releasing some sort of toxin?
I'm sure it is. No, I'm not saying it's good for you. I'm just saying it tastes fucking. There's something about this bacon, right? And then they got all like the, because they're cooking it in the bacon. So the bacon provides the fat that all this shit's cooking in.
Yes, because
right?
hot dogs aren't fatty enough.
Well, if you just put a hot dog, the fat doesn't leach out. Let's just put it like that. Okay. So you got the bacon creating all the bacon grease, and they got all the onions and the bell pepper, and they do all this other shit. And just greasy at 3 a.m. when you're drunk, you're about ready to get in your Uber. It's the best thing ever. You sleep like a baby. Tomorrow, the next day you got a tapeworm coming out your ass, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
All
but yeah, that's kind of like an LA famous thing, actually. These taco ladies. I mean,
hot dog ladies.
Hot dog ladies, yeah. And there's a name for them, and I don't remember the fucking name.
I don't know.
But it's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
And it's better than any hot dog I have ever had in New York. And New York is known for hot dogs.
It is?
It is. At least the cart. No. Maybe they started the hot dog cart.
I thought Chicago was famous for hot dogs.
They are, but New York is famous for the carts. Chicago is like all gourmet and shit with all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
Good talk, Nick.
Yeah.
You're quite a conversationalist. We're conversating.
Conversing.
Are you sure it's not conversating?
Conversate is not a word.
Okay.
It is converse.
So I don't even think I introduced anything here. So you're Nikki, and I'm
Nikki,
Johnny.
And that's John.
And that's it. That's all you got to know. We're here at Jim Morrison Studio B. B for bedroom. With the bed providing amazing acoustics. But we got badass microphone and a badass recording setup.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sound guy. And what else?
I don't know.
What else? That's it?
I think we should wrap it up for the first episode.
Okay, we'll wrap it up here and we'll look up the film, Cloverfield, whatever.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
And Johnny's going to go on Google and discover that conversate is not a real word and it's converse.
All right.
And on that,
and by the way,
you.
When this whole thing is done, finished and done, it's going to sound fucking amazing with me polishing it up. And we're going to have some good music on it.
Okay.
In the backtrack.
I look forward to it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Nikki.
Over and out.
Over and out.